Number 1. First things first, I'm the realist, but also there's a lot of people in India. In India, that's a surprisingly difficult thing to say. India's population is 1.331 billion people. Number 2. In fact, there are so many people in India, it's predicted that the country will even pass China's population in 2028. That's in 11 years, by the way, and China's massive. Number 3. There are 6 big languages spoken throughout the country, namely Hindi, Bengali, Telugu, Marathi, Tamil, and Urdu. Sounds like a lot, but compare this to 1961, in which the Census of India listed 1,652 languages, which, my God, sounds so confusing. Many of these dialects have since died out, which I'm sure is a relief to all those writing tourism guidebooks for New Delhi. Number 4. India has a booming film industry. In fact, it's the biggest in the world. Their industry produces more than 1,100 films each year. A year? I've been working on my biography film for 2 years, and they made 2,000 films in that time? Mind you, I'm not a country. Maybe if you drop the last syllable. Number 5. Now, you may all be thinking at home, oh yeah, that's Bollywood, innit? But no, it's not. Bollywood is actually quite different and releases around 200 films a year. Still loads, but not quite as much. Number 6. Bollywood, by the way, is a Hindi movie industry and is primarily based in Mumbai. And, let me tell you, it's damn popular. In 2011, for example, according to Jay Matusitz and P. Piano in India Quarterly, a journal of international affairs, which genuinely improves on every read, 3.5 million tickets were bought all over the world for Bollywood movies. That's 900,000 more than Hollywood movies. Number 7. Yes, that's right, this country is big in people, movies, and mangoes. Yep, mangoes. The country is the world's biggest producer and consumer of the mango, making it officially the national fruit of India. Number 8. It's also a country in which it's incredibly dangerous to drive a car or, anything. According to the British Medical Journal, 200,000 people die every year from accidents on the roads of India. That's more than any other country in the entire world. Number 9. Getting around on just under 4 wheels is a pretty big deal over there. In fact, nowadays, India is the biggest country in the world for getting around on 2 wheels, whether it's on bicycles or, motor bicycles. Number 10. As a nation, they have broken many world records. In 2015, they broke the record for the largest gathering of people dressed like Mahatma Gandhi, with 4,605 in attendance, which must have been quite a party. Number 11. Another world record includes the longest moustache at 4.29 meters, held by an Indian man named Ram Singh Chauhan. It looks great and all, Ram, but it must be a nightmare eating soup with that mighty thing. Number 12. An Indian lady by the name of Kalamandalam Hemalatha holds the world record for the longest dance marathon by an individual. She danced for 123 hours and 15 minutes. Sorry, but that's still over 123 hours. Doing the math there a bit, that's over 5 days of just constant dancing. Number 13. Okay, sod it. I'll give you one more record. Possibly the most badass yet spiritual of the bunch. They have the world record for the most consecutive yoga positions on a motorcycle. Have Ramesh managed to do 50 of them somehow? Don't try that at home, please, unless you live on a road. In fact, even then, don't do it. Number 14. India is actually very, very good at space-based affairs, as well as motorbike yoga, dancing, and, facial hair. It was the first country to successfully send a spacecraft to Mars on their first try. The Mars Orbiter mission, aka MOM, aka MARM, was launched in November 2013 and has been orbiting in space since September 2014. Number 15. As well as that, water on the moon was first discovered by India's ISRO Chandrayaan in September of 2009. Number 16. In fact, we all kind of owe India a lot because they gave us absolutely nothing. Literally. Well, kind of. An astronomer by the name of Aryabhata devised a number system that included absolute zero, i.e. nothing. See what I meant there before now? While he didn't invent the number 0 itself, he invented the place where it would go, if that makes sense. Number 17. In 1963, the Indian Space Research Organisation launched India's first rocket from the Thumba Equatorial Launching Station. The rocket itself was so light, it was transported to the station by a bicycle. Number 18. The 26th of May is Science Day in Switzerland. Now you may be wondering, Sam, you big idiot trumpet, this is India and not Switzerland, but bear with me. The entire day is in honour of ex-President APJ Abdul Kalam, who studied physics and aerospace engineering. He was called the Missile Man because of his development of ballistic missiles and launch vehicles. So, not a guy you would want to irritate, I imagine. Number 19. APJ Abdul Kalam, while President of India, actually posted a question on Yahoo Questions asking how to best tackle terrorism as a planet. Over 31,000 people answered. It's a toughie, I'll give it to him. I'd have to have Googled it too. Number 20. Now it's time for a fact about a tomb. Oh, lovely, I love a tomb. Humayun's tomb, which is located in New Delhi, is the world's first garden tomb. It was constructed in memory of the Mughal Emperor Humayun, as the name suggests. Number 21. The country has one of the longest-lasting and oldest civilizations in the world. The Indus Valley, for example, which takes up 5% of India itself these days, as it's now mostly Pakistan, dates back to around 2400 BC, aka 4,500 years ago. Number 22. A lot of India would be likely to say no to a burger if you offered. After all, around 20 to 40% of the population are vegetarian, which makes it the world's largest population of non-meat eaters. Number 23. Some of their most popular dishes are vegetarian, in fact. Pani Puri, Matar Paneer, Vada Pav and Chol Bhature are all very popular and very meat-free. Number 24. A place named Chail is home to the highest cricket ground in the world. The ground is located on a hilltop, which is 2,500 metres above sea level. It's since been, straightened out and levelled out for a playing ground, obviously. Otherwise, cricket would be a lot damn harder. Number 25. The world's oldest recognised university was originally educating the living heck out of people in India. The Takshashila, aka Taxila, was founded in 700 BC and is located in the northwest of Bharat, which is technically now Pakistan, but used to be India. Number 26. We have India to thank for one of the world's most popular board games, and one that makes me feel stupid every time I play it. Chess. Chaturanga, or Catur for short, was invented in ancient India and is the ancestor of chess. It eventually evolved into chess, like a very thoughtful Pokemon, when it was brought to late medieval Europe. Number 27. We also have India to thank for another one of the world's most popular board games, and one that is genuinely harder to win than chess, Snakes and Ladders. The game also originated in ancient India and was introduced to Victorian England in 1892. I wonder if it was played with real snakes. No, probably not. Probably a stereotype too. Sorry. Number 28. The Taj Mahal is one of the 7 wonders of the world, and, well, just look at it. It looks lovely, doesn't it? It cost around 32 million rupees to build, which in today's rate of coinage would be 52.8 billion rupees, or 827 million US dollars, or 648 million British pounds, or 738 million euros, and, well, I can't go back through every currency, can I? We'd be here all day. Number 29. You know the phrase, Taj Mahal wasn't built in a day. I think that's the phrase anyway, isn't it? Oh no, it's Rome, sorry. Anywho, it certainly wasn't built in a day. In fact, it took 22 years to build it. That's over 8,030 solid days of building right there. Number 30. One of the reasons why it took so long to build is because the entire thing is perfectly symmetrical from every single angle. Think of the planning and the execution to build something that's perfectly symmetrical. That must have taken forever. Well, over 8,000 days, probably. Number 31. The Taj Mahal is very pretty and everything, but what is it? I hear you cry. Well, it's actually a grave. A very pretty grave. Sort of. It was commissioned by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan to house the mausoleum of his favourite wife, Mumtaz Mahal, who died in 1631. Number 32. Mumtaz must be delighted now because she has 8 million people visiting her final resting place every year. I aspire to have at least half that many visitors when I'm dead. I kid, it will probably be a pigeon and maybe the odd vole. Number 33. Princess Diana, and no, I don't mean Wonder Woman this time, I mean the actual Princess Diana, had her picture taken while sat on a bench in India in front of the Taj Mahal. This bench has since apparently become a huge tourist attraction. Same goes for the bench down my road. Apparently, Danny Dyer sat there once. Number 34. India are the kings and queens of outsourcing, which means doing work for companies in other countries. 80% of European and US outsourcing is in India. and it's an industry worth $150 billion, contributing to the economy quite massively. Number 35. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the first president of the Republic of India. Allegedly, Prasad only took 50% of his salary for the job, which was about 10,000 rupees. Number 36. If you're an elephant watching this, first of all, hey, big fan of your species, and secondly, listen up if you want some vacation advice. There is a spa for elephants at the Punathur Kotta Elephant Yard Rejuvenation Centre in Kerala. They can get a bath, some good food, and a massage. Aww. Number 37. Cows are sacred in Hinduism and so are revered in India. Don't confuse that, by the way, and think that they worship them. They don't. They just respect them. And why wouldn't you? I mean, look at this lovely lady right here. Utterly fantastic. Udder. Number 38. Indians revere them so much they actually use cow products to make various bits and pieces, and I'm not talking about milk. Cow dung is used for stuff like soap, and some even bathe in cow urine. Big fan of your milk, guys, but the rest, it's not for me, thank you. Number 39. India is the second largest English-speaking country in the entire world. Around 10% of the population, which is around 125 million people, by the way, can speak English. Hello, if you're one of that 10%. Love you. No way, that's a bit too strong, sorry, I mean, respect you. Number 40. Shakuntala Devi of Bengaluru, Karnataka, became famous when she was declared the human calculator and earned a place in the Guinness Book of World Records. My god, that book is basically India's Yellow Pages, they're in there so bloody much. She calculated the multiplication of two random 13-digit numbers, namely, this sum that's on screen right now, in 28 seconds. The answer, by the way, is loads. And no, I didn't beat the record, it took me 30 seconds to think of that. Number 41. Indians love their newspapers. So much so that in between 2013 and 2016, they bought 23 million of the things every day. The meaning of life. Indian food is massive over here in the UK, including the meal chicken tikka masala, which has since been named a national meal and is an absolute staple of British takeaway. However, it's disputed about where it actually comes from. Some say it comes from the Punjab, whereas others say it comes from an Indian restaurant in Glasgow, Scotland. We may never know where it comes from, but my tummy is thankful that it did come from somewhere. Number 43. What my tummy would not be thankful for is the Bhut Jolokia, also known as the ghost chili. This is the hottest chili in the entire world, and it comes from smack bang in the middle of India. It's hot, hot stuff. I would die. I find oxygen a bit toasty. Number 44. The Bandra Worli Sea Link Bridge's steel wires are equal to the Earth's circumference. The bridge is over 413 feet in height and took over 10 years to build. Number 45. Shampoo is an invention of India, so thanks India for making me look so #fabulous. The word dates back to 1762 and comes from the Hindi word champo, which in turn derives from the word chapayati, which means to press, knead, and smooth. Still not sure where the poo comes from. Well, I know where that poo comes from, but you know what I mean. Number 46. Just in case you want to save some money down the old hair shop and make your own, shampoo was created in ancient India by boiling sapindus, also known as soapberries, basically some shrubs, and mixing it with dried gooseberries before rubbing it into the hair. I'm sure they smelled great. Number 47. India loves sport. Cricket is by far the most bought in the country. Cricket was introduced by the British-ruled India, more on that later, and ever since has become an essential part of Indian life. Number 48. India also loves and invented a sport known as kabaddi. As you can imagine, as a country, they're pretty damn good at it, what with the fact they came up with the rules and stuff. Number 49. India's kabaddi team, both men and women, has won every single Kabaddi World Cup that has ever taken place. Number 50. In case you don't know what kabaddi is, it sounds like a riot. Kabaddi is a team contact sport in which there are two teams. The two teams send a raider into the opposing team side of the field. The raider will then earn points by touching the opposing team members, oh, kinky, and returning to the home side, all while taking a single breath. Sounds fun, I might try that in the pub. Number 51. If you're a police officer in India and you have a moustache, then you can expect a raise in money as well as in manliness. For some reason, if you have a moustache as an officer, you receive 30 rupees more a month. At least that was the case anyway for 10 officers in Madhya Pradesh. Number 52. Rabindranath Tagore wrote India's national anthem, Jana Gana Mana. He also wrote the Bangladeshi national anthem, Amar Sona Bangla, too, as well as Firework by Katy Perry. Okay, maybe not that last one, but still 2 national anthems. That's pretty swish. Number 53. India's flag was adopted in 1947 after they became independent from Great Britain. Yeah, by the way, sorry about that whole thing, India. The flag has to be made out of a special cloth or silk called khadi by law. Khadi, by the way, was made popular by Gandhi. I want Gandhi. Dun, 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 dun. Number 54. The symbol in the middle of the flag, by the way, is the Ashoka or Dharma Chakra, also known as the Wheel of Life, which isn't a game show, but rather a symbol that represents the nation and the importance of justice in life. Number 55. India's national bird is the peacock, and the national animal is the tiger. There's about 100,000 cocks throughout the country, and they are protected culturally and by law. Peacocks, I mean, by the way, not yeah, I shouldn't have abbreviated like that, should I? Number 56. In 2014, there were just over 2,200 Bengal tigers in India, but their numbers are decreasing at a very rapid rate, the poor little tigery things. Number 57. Rupees is the currency used throughout the country, as I'm sure you gathered by me mentioning rupees a lot in this video already. And no, they're not the same as the Legend of Zelda rupees either. Quick side fact about them, by the way. In the manual for the first game, the gems are actually called rubies, but in the game themselves, they are called rupees. Anyway, back to you, Sam. Thanks, Sam. Number 58. Anyway, the current exchange rate is 1 rupee to 0.016 US dollars. That's 0.012 British pounds, 0.014 euro. Oh, bloody hell, I'm not doing this again. Number 59. In Tamil Nadu, many fishermen were dying at sea because they could not afford safety gear. To combat this, 4 boys from the local school designed zero-cost life jackets made out of empty plastic bottles. This idea won an award named the Boldest Idea Award at the ICANN Awards in 2014. Well done, lads. Number 60. India's Hindu calendar has 6 seasons: spring, summer, monsoon, autumn, Hemant Ritu, and winter. 2 of those are probably a bit alien to you if you don't live in India. And, as someone who lives in Britain, I've never heard of Hemant Ritu or summer either. Number 61. Monsoon, however, is the heavy rain season that lasts from July to September. Hemant Ritu is pre-winter, which is the time of the country's 2 most important festivals, Diwali and Bhai Dooj. It's from the last week of October to the last week of December. Number 62. 82-year-old and ex-Indian military scientist Prahlad Jani has claimed he hasn't had any food or drink for 70 years. He claims since he had a religious experience and following the Hindu goddess Amba, he didn't need any food. Oh man, I wish that worked for me. I worship my goddess Jennifer Lawrence and I'm still chomping on lasagna 24/7. Number 63. A Hindu gathering known as Kumbh Mela happens every 12 years. In this mass pilgrimage, Hindus bathe in the holy river. It's one of, if not the world's largest gathering of people, so large in fact you can see it from space. Nintendo 64. India has around 300,000 mosques throughout the country, which is apparently more than any other country in the world. Number 65. There's also over 154,000 post offices across the whole of the land, with a single post office serving around 7,175 people on average. Number 66. This includes people living on or under the water too. A floating post office in Dal Lake in Srinagar set sail in 2011, and I've heard it's first class. First like a stamp. Number 67. There's a lot of rain in India, what with them having a whole season dedicated to it. Mawsynram in Meghalaya has some of the highest annual recorded rainfall in the world at a whopping 11,872 millimeters of rain every year. Number 68. Let's hop back into Bollywood for a bit because it's a topic I enjoy so damn much. Unlike Hollywood, Bollywood is not a physical place and is more of a nickname for the industry. The B comes from Bombay, which is now known as Mumbai, so actually it should be known as Mollywood, although that just sounds like the name of an elderly librarian. Number 69. Oh. The first full-length motion picture made in India was Raja Harishchandra, which was shot all the way back in 1913 and, as you can see, is an absolute super fun watch, with some special effects genuinely better than some movies today. Number 70. The Bollywood film Koho Na Pyar Hai won 92 awards, the most ever won in Bollywood. It was even added to, yes, you guessed it, the Guinness Book of World Records in 2002 for this momentous achievement. Number 71. Bollywood's superhero action flick Ra 1 cost 1.25 billion rupees, that's over $19 million by the way, to make. The film was screened in over 3,500 cinemas in India and made 2.1 billion rupees back, which is just over $32 million. Number 72. Actress Kareena Kapoor wore over 130 different dresses in the film Heroine. The dresses were all designed by different top designers around the world. Number 73. In 1932, the Urdu play and opera Inda Sabha was released on the big screen as a musical. Now, Bollywood does not do musical by halves, and the film features 72 songs and runs for 211 minutes, which, by the way, is over a butt-numbing 3.5 hours. Number 74. Fatima Begum was India's first female director who first directed her movie Bhubel Paristan way back in 1926. Number 75. Bollywood can mean big, big money if you're successful in it, which, alas, I probably never will be. Actor Salman Khan, for instance, is reported to be paid around 55 crore, which is also around $7 million, for every film he's in. Number 76. Something else to bear in mind, money-wise, is that it's been reported that the population of India spends around $2.6 billion on box office tickets to see Bollywood movies every year. That's a lot of billions. Number 77. Also take into account the fact that in 2012, Bollywood made 1,602 films that year. The US only made 476. Oh, come on, US, catch up. You have around 14,000 cinematic universes going on right now. Number 78. Hey, speaking of cinematic universes, India actually has its own Spider-Man. In the Marvel series Spider-Man India, Peter Parker is instead named Parvati Prabhakar and gets his superpowers from a yogi instead of a radioactive spider. Number 79. Filmmaker and man whose full first name isn't Bazooka but really should be, Baz Luhrmann, says that he gets a lot of influence for his films from Bollywood's extravagance. Moulin Rouge is an example of this, which also features music from Bollywood films. Number 80. The 2011 film Rockstar was filmed backwards. No, by the way, this wasn't a strange, artistic new way of shooting. It was so that star Ranbir Kapoor's hairstyles didn't break continuity. The film cost around $600 million to make and made $1.06 billion at the box office. Number 81. Any fans of rivers out there, you should be damn happy because your time has come in this video. The Ganges River, which begins at the southern slope of the Himalayas and runs through India and Bangladesh, runs for a total distance of 1,560 miles, or 2,520 kilometers. Number 82. The river is sacred to the Hindu faith and is worshipped as the goddess Ganga. The river is also used for bathing too, making it probably the holiest bath in the world. Number 83. Speaking of water, actually, there's around 200 different species of fish and amphibians in India and in the Ganges River, including dolphins and sharks. Oh, yeah, maybe best not to bathe in there then. Number 84. There's, even more reason why it may not be best to have a dip as well. Turns out the river is heavily populated by human waste and some parts are becoming shallower because of climate change. In fact, in 2007, the river was 5th on the most polluted river in the world list. Number 85. Also, a lot of dead bodies are washed up on the beds of the Ganges, mainly for when people have died and their family can't afford to bury them, which is very sad, but also more reason not to probably dip your foot in there. Number 86. Alexander the Great, a man who basically became king of everything in the 300s BC, tried to make his way on the Indian scene to conquer the country too. He ultimately failed though, despite his best battling efforts. Number 87. The British, though, eventually did take over a lot of India. From 1617, the British East India Company began to trade throughout the country with the permission of the Emperor. The more land they traded in and subsequently got, the more the British gained influence, which caused many battles and wars, including the Battle of Plassey and the Anglo-Maratha Wars. Number 88. By 1850, the British East India Company had taken over the Indian subcontinent. This, quite understandably, raised a rebellion in 1857, Star Wars style. But unlike the Star Wars rebels, they didn't have blasters, but they also didn't have organisation or proper arms. The British government then took all the power and gave it to the British Crown, and the British Empire began. Number 89. This empire was known as the British Raj. Queen Victoria was declared Empress of India, and the British Army occupied the regions of the country. And again, I really am so sorry about all of that. Number 90. The reason I'm sorry is, because of this, the Indian nationals did not have a say in the government or any local policies, and their rights were minimal. The empire took over almost all of present-day India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Number 91. India was valuable to Britain because of the export of cotton, spices, and other goods that make Britain rich. They also recruited many Indian nationals to their army to fight for them. Number 92. Because of these exports, many foods and goods were introduced to the West. It also brought tea and coffee, starting Britain's obsession with the damn stuff. So thanks, India, thanks ever so much, as I wouldn't be awake right now without either of those things. But also sorry. Number 93. During Britain's rule, India's railway system was built, which would later become the fourth biggest in the world. The British also invested a lot into infrastructure like roads, ports, water systems, and telegraphy. Number 94. The economy was said to have risen by 1% per year of the rule, but many historians believe the country was left off worse and poorer by the end of the empire. Number 95. In fact, to make us British sound even worse, around 1.3 million Indian soldiers fought in World War I for us. This was all in exchange for the promise of independence, a promise that was never actually followed through on. Around 74,187 Indian soldiers died during that war. Number 96. Instead of giving the country their independence and deter people from uprising, the British imposed the Rowlatt Act, which stated that any political activism in the British Raj would be suspected of terrorism without trial. Jeez, we were dicks. Number 97. The national protest against this act led to the uprising of one of India's biggest figures, namely Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Number 98. In his growing popularity, he became the main voice of the Indian National Congress, spreading the word about a peaceful and free India using non-violent protest. He encouraged non-cooperation with Britain and boycott of their goods and services. Number 99. For instance, at one point, salt was very heavily taxed by the British. Gandhi therefore boycotted salt completely and led a 24-day march to the coast to make their own. The British arrested over 60,000 people for this march, including Gandhi himself. Number 100. Gandhi was, sadly, eventually assassinated by Hindu extremists in 1948. For most of India, it was a national tragedy, and his funeral drew almost 1 million people. Number 101. I don't want to end on a sad note, so, a man in India married a dog once. He didn't do it for love or lust, luckily. It was because he wanted to atone for stoning 2 other dogs, saying he felt cursed after he had done it. Well, I for one hope they have a lovely life together. Marriage can be a bitch, after all. Oh, I'm bored.